Hey creatives, you already know what tutorial we are having today, and I'm going to be showing you guys how to make one out of the two Ankara beaded bags I showed in the previous video. And we are going to be doing the rectangular shape today, and this style is with the Ankara inside and the glass showing outside. It's a beautiful purple beaded bag, and this was a request from one of my subscribers. I think her name is Favor. Okay, so this is the other design which will be in the next video coming up, so make sure you stay subscribed and stay tuned, and let's get right into the tutorial. I know there's a lot going on the table for the materials, but trust me, you need them. So I'm just going to rush through all of them. You need your fishing line. I'm using a 0.7 mm fishing line. You need your scissors or cutter. A scissors is preferable. Your 10 mm beads, your Ankara material. You need an elastic, the thicker size, and you're going to need your glue stick or a glue gun. If you don't have a glue gun, just having a glue stick, or if you think you have a glue that can stick on plastic glass, use that. And I have my chain here, my measuring tape, I have these old hoops, I have my lighter, and I have my needle and thread. And obviously the most important thing that we need is our acrylic board. Okay, you could do this for any shape of acrylic board that you have, but I'm going to be demonstrating on this rectangular shape. Now for the purpose of this video, I'm just going to show you the measurements of our acrylic board. So that is 5 for the width and 7 for the length. Okay, I already have a video on the channel showing you the measurements and all that, but the distance from the edge to the holes is 1/2 inch. Okay, so it was asked in my DIY acrylic board video, so I just want to put that out there. Right, I just want to emphasize, if you want to drill the holes on your acrylic board, if you're giving someone to drill, I would prefer your holes should be like a 1/4 inch, as close to the board as possible. That is the least. Okay, you could have it 1/2 inch like my rectangular board, or a 1/4 inch like I showed for the lip board. Okay, so I've named my board. This is the part that needs to show on the outside, and this is the part that shows on the inside. So you're seeing these lines running on the inside part of the board. This board had holes drilled on 3 sides, and I personally drilled the 4th side. I have that video on how to drill on the channel, so you can go ahead and check it out, or link in the description box. So you're peeling the entire inside part of the board. Okay, you remove everything on the inside part of the board, the part that you want it to be the inside. Then you're just going to remove the corners of the outside. Then you're going to grab your Ankara material, and you are going to place it on your table with the right side facing you. The wrong side should be touching the table, while the right side is facing you. Take your acrylic board, place it on top of your material. Like I said, you're placing it on top of the right side, okay, because that's the side that we want it to show through the glass. Then you are going to use your glue gun, or whatever glue that you think could make your Ankara to stick on your plastic board. I'm just gluing it so that it's going to hold it in place, like so. When you glue like one part, you can go ahead and cut it off the Ankara. You can cut off the excess Ankara, so you have like very little Ankara to work with. So make sure you're placing, or you're gluing it nice and straight, and you're gluing only at the edges. You're not going closer to the holes, you're gluing only at the edges. Okay, so if you don't have a glue gun, you can see I'm just using my lighter and a glue stick to glue it down. So I've glued one side down, and I'm just going to cut off all the remaining material, so I am going to be left with just what I need. You don't need to cut it smooth at this point. Okay, you just need to get a basic rectangular shape here. All right, so I'm just going to cut all of that like so, and then I'm going to flip it. I'll prefer that you put your acrylic board should be touching, yes, it should be touching the table, and then you're just putting the glue at the edge, and you're going to be smoothing your Ankara. Smooth it out, make it nice and straight and smooth. You don't want it to curl up, you don't want it to have wrinkles. Make sure it is nice and flat. So go ahead and apply glue only at the edges of your board, and I'm going to meet you when I am done. Right, so this is my board. I am finished with gluing everything down, and this is what it looks like at the front. Okay, make sure you still have this protective layer at the front, right? Make sure you have that. You're going to peel it off at the end, and now I'm just going to grab my scissors and I am going to snip all the excess excess Ankara fabric, sorry. Snip off all the excess Ankara fabric like so. Then we are going to use a lighter and run it around the edges of the Ankara fabric so it doesn't fray, okay? So the thread doesn't fray about, okay? Just cut it as neat as you can with your scissors. Then grab your lighter and just run it through the edges like you see me do. Run it and make sure you press it down to be nice and flat, okay? So run that around and we are going to have a smooth base and then we can start attaching our beads. Now before attaching our beads, we need to bring back those holes through the Ankara fabric. So I'm just using, this is literally the bottom of a tail comb that I'm just warming it up, and I'm just going through the holes from the front to the back, okay? You go through the holes from where you can see it to the back, okay? Now you just need to make a hole big enough for your fishing line to pass through. I'm using a 0.7mm fishing line. Yes, so I just did that for all the holes, and our board is back nice and good. And I'm just going to grab my fishing line, however long you want it to be, and I am starting at the corners. So I'm going to pick up one bead and I am going to cross with the one bead. This is the only method I'll recommend for you to do this back, okay? So you just start by picking up one bead, then you put a bead on the left fishing line, a bead on the right fishing line, cross with one bead. You already know how to attach your beads to your Ankara, to your glass plates. This is going to be very easy for you. So when you cross, you're going to have this circle of 4. You're going to take your fishing line, which is facing the acrylic board, insert it into the second hole, then under, then you're going to bring it back around and insert it into that crossing bead like you see me do. If I'm not explaining it properly, please just carefully watch the video, or I'm going to link other videos that I've done this method there, which I explained it perfectly. So you go ahead and pick 3 beads, one on the left fishing line, one on the right fishing line, cross with the third bead, and the fishing line which is on my right, which is a fishing line facing the acrylic board, I'm going to insert it into the following circle, pull it to the, or insert it so it's at the bottom, and then I am going to bring it around back into the crossing bead. I hope you guys saw that. So pick up 3 beads, one on the left fishing line, one on the right fishing line, cross with the third bead, and then insert the fishing line on the right or the fishing line closer to the board into the following hole, right? And then you're just going to continue the same process until you get to the bottom. Now when you get to this last hole, like so, when you insert your fishing line and you cross it into this last hole like so, know that you're going to have another circle of 4, but this is going to be a turning circle of 4 because we're about to start at the bottom now. So the fishing line facing away from my work, which is the one on my left, I'm going to pick 3 beads and I'm going to cross with the third bead, and I'm going to insert the fishing line back into that last circle there, because this circle at the corner acts as the last circle of the width of the glass plate, and it also acts as the first circle of the length of the glass plate. So I'm going to insert into that hole. So the corner circles always have fishing lines passing there twice. I hope that makes sense. So I'm just going to continue the normal matting method again. Pick 3 beads, cross the third bead, insert in the following hole. Then I'm reaching the edge again. This is another edge. And I'm going to finish. This is the last hole of the length. So I'm going to insert the fishing line into that last hole of the length like this. Insert it. And then you pull it out. Just insert it like this. Pull it from the bottom, then go back into that crossing bead right there, and then Like I said, this is the last hole of the length, but it acts as the first hole of the width. So, and this first hole of the width is a turning bead. So you're going to pick up 3 beads and you're going to cross with the third bead, and you're going to insert that fishing line again into the in this case, the first hole of the width for this side. The last hole of the length, the first hole of the width. So you're just going to do the normal attaching until you get back to the beginning. And here I'm just finishing up. I'm going to insert my final fishing line into the first bead that we started with. Then I'm going to pick up 2 beads with whatever end of the fishing line you prefer, and then you are going to cross with you're going to cross or tie. If you have a lot of fishing line left, I prefer you cross so that you're just going to continue with the long fishing line. But if you had a short fishing line like me, you're just going to tie it, and then this is what we are going to end up with. Okay, now we are going to start building up the sides, and building up the sides is the basic matting method. Okay, so I've inserted my fishing line into the first corner, and I'm going to pick up 3 beads and I'm going to cross with the third bead. And then I am going to insert my fishing line on my right into the following bead from the side, pick up 2 beads with the fishing line on my left and cross with the second bead. I said in my video when I was showing the Ankara beaded bags that I'm not going to be going in depth into explanation. Like my videos from now on are going to be like intermediate, advanced, because I assume you have an idea on how to bead already, the basic matting. If you don't know how to bead at all, I have an entire playlist for beginner in beads, from the materials you need, how to start, which fishing line, all of that, how to cross, how to turn. Okay, so I'll link that playlist down. So you're going to build your corners of your bag with the normal matting method for however long you want it to be in. I mean, however wide you want your bag to be, how big, the depth of your bag, however you want it to be. In my case, I did a total of 5 rows, and then obviously I went and did the other board, and I'm just going to be joining it like this, and it's going to make a total of 6 rows for the corners of our bag. So I inserted my fishing line into the first bead of the side, picked up 1 bead, and I'm inserting it into the first bead of the other board. Okay, then I'm going to pick up 1 bead and cross. So this is a basic joining of a beaded bag. This is joining a beaded bag. If you don't know how to join a beaded bag, you can check out that playlist on how to join 2 parts of a beaded bag together. Okay, so you insert your fishing line into the bead on your left, insert the fishing line into the following bead on your right, pick up 1 bead and cross, and you're going to do this for the entire bag until everything is nice and joined together. So when you're done joining, this is what you should have. This is what your bag should be looking like, right? Okay, so we are going to start with the handle of our bag. Take your Ankara material. Mine is 6 inches for the width, and the length, I will say you should do 50 inches or more. Let's just say 60 inches. Okay, then you are going to sew on the wrong side. Please sew your material on the wrong side. If you have a sewing machine, that's fine and good. Me, I just did the running stitch on mine. You can hand sew it as well, that is going to work. So you're just going to sew it. If you want your handle to be thicker, you can do the width to be more than 6 inches. Okay, so 6 inches is just what I did for this video, and you can make it longer too if you want. Here I'm just flipping the sides. I'm using a comb. You could use a ruler to flip the sides of your material, just like that. You can go ahead and iron it as well, okay, but I literally had no time to waste. Yeah, so then you grab your elastic, please, your elastic. So my elastic was about 9 inches or more, but I'll prefer that your elastic should be 3/4 the length of your bag. Okay, so the length of my board is 7 inches, so it would have been preferable to do my elastic like 5.5 inch, right? So I'm just giving you guys that measurement. I did mine longer because elastic is going to stretch with time, so it's preferable to have it small. Okay, so you put your safety pin on one end of your elastic, insert that end first into the tube that you've made with your Ankara, and then you're going to shift your elastic inside until an inch space is left, and you are going to sew on that elastic a 1/4 inch away from the elastic. Okay, don't sew right at the edge of the elastic because it's going to cut at one point. When you sew on that edge, you're just going to push your safety pin through your Ankara material, and make sure you're pushing it on a straight line. Make sure it doesn't twist, it doesn't bend. And when you push it onto the end, you pull out the safety pin, you push the elastic back inside to an inch away from the Ankara material, and then you're going to grab your needle and thread again, and you're going to sew a 1/4 inch inside, a 1/4 inch away from the elastic. I hope all those measurements are making sense. I hope you guys are taking notes. If you have any questions, make sure you ask them down in the comment section as well. So just go ahead and sew. Make sure it's nice and tight. Okay, when you sew, you can leave the excess thread there. As you can see, we have a nice stretchy Ankara handle. Then you're going to grab your O-rings. Okay, so I'm using key holders. You could use the bigger size, you could use the smaller size. As you can see, I'm using the smaller size. Then you're going to fold the excess part of the Ankara material. You're going to fold it like a triangle, and then you are going to insert your ring, and you're going to fold and wrap it, and you're going to sew that fold to the elastic part. Okay, but you're sewing it to the Ankara of the elastic part, not on the elastic itself. Okay, so you could do, in my case here, I did the matras stitch, but you could sew it with whatever stitch you know, your sewing machine or whatever. Even if it shows on the other side, that's fine. Just make sure you're doing very neat stitches. Please, if you haven't subscribed at this point, please do subscribe, like this video, share it, leave me a comment about what you think, and make sure you check out the other tutorial on how to make the second version of the Ankara beaded bag. Now when you're done with your sewing, you're just going to knot your thread and you're going to tie everything off. Now all the sewing I've just showed you guys, you're obviously going to repeat it on the other side, and you're going to do 2 handles. Now if you don't want to stress with the Ankara handle, you can go ahead and do a beaded handle, or you can have, if you have these ring handles, you can go ahead and attach them. Whatever design you can do it, you don't need to do the Ankara handles. So this is the complete handle. I'm going to grab my second Ankara material and I'm going to do the second handle. So my handle is like 11 inches. That is way too long. Okay, so you can do it shorter. Like I said, your total handle should be 3/4 inch less. 3/4 if your bag is 7 inches, if the length of your bag is 7 inches, just make sure your handle is like 6 inches, okay, or 5.5, something like that. So I have my 2 handles here, but if you want it longer, that's still up to you. It is your bag, you can go ahead and do what you want. Okay, so to attach the handle, I just put a fishing line on one of the beads at the top edge, picked up 3 beads, and I tied it off. Now I'll prefer, if especially if you're having an O-ring or the key holder ring, I'll prefer that you insert the key holder ring into the very top hole or the top bead to attach your handle there. I prefer you attach your handle to the top bead or the hole. Just open the ring and attach it to that hole. Okay, so that's going to make it to be more sturdy basically. but if you want to attach it the way I showed in the video, that's fine as well. So this is optional. You can use this handle, the chains, if you want to hang your bag on your shoulder. So since I did 6 rows, the midpoint is going to be a bead that the hole runs from top to bottom. So I'm going to do the same thing that I did on the Ankara handles. Pick up 3 beads and then I'm going to tie it down so that the ring is in the middle. And that's it for our bag. She is finished. She is done. This is the the unveiling, the unraveling, the reveal. I don't know, the revealing. So this is how it looks like. I mean, I love this glass method, like this glass showing like this, then the Ankara inside. I love it so much. But my favorite, which is the next tutorial, is this Ankara bag right here. It's honestly my favorite of all the bags. And so make sure you make sure you stay tuned for the tutorial. It's going to be posted right after this one. Thank you so much for watching. If you do recreate this bag, please tag me on my Instagram, send me a photo so I can post it. That one of my subscribers did, the beaded bag I made. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye.